The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
They gave me my theme music!
Soundstripe.
This is a Planet Fanatics production.
I definitely remember that. Well, let me get it off cue and on you. I do remember that though. I also had one of those with Kellen.
Oh, I bet that was fun. Kellen's funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn your. What's up, everybody? The people that are here. I'm going to turn up your light a little bit.
Okay, cool. I can't hear anything in my headphones. Is that normal?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just make sure.
I haven't played that. I'll play something soon.
Hello.
What's up to Jinx? Appreciate you being here. We're going to let some other people slowly trickle in. I know a lot of people are probably showing up late because we are constantly late, and we were still late today. And you know what? There's no reason for us to be late today because we were both sitting in this chair by 7:45, so we could have started, but
Chit-chatting.
we were chit-chatting.
Catching up.
So I apologize. But we appreciate everybody that is here. Appreciate the ones that are coming in. Appreciate it if everybody would, on your way in, go ahead and hit that like button. If you are new here and you are not, this is your first time ever seeing one of our live streams, because I saw we had some new subscribers. And if you're one of those new subscribers, we definitely appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community, this vastly growing community. I say vastly growing. It hasn't been vastly growing since we took our hiatus. It was vastly growing before the hiatus, yeah. But I like the fact that we see new subscribers. Again, appreciate you guys being here. So if you could, on your way in, hit that like button. Also, like I said, I want to say, if not sometime in December, I don't want to promise December. I know I said December the last stream, but if not sometime in December, for sure, after the new year starts, I will already be home. I'll be home possibly Friday working. If not Friday, I'll be home Monday working. And so I'll be able to stream more.
Oh, exciting.
Since I'll be here, like it was when I worked for the insurance company. Excuse me, when I worked for the insurance company. So if you weren't here when I said that last week, I might have some more time to be here and hang out. So
I love that for you guys.
Yeah. Corey, since the last time we saw you, how has your week been? How was your holiday?
Holiday was good. Holiday was so much fun. My mom was in town. That was dope. I got to hang out with a lot of family that day. Ate a lot of good food. And KJ had a blast. The days surrounding,
Nice.
life was lifing. Life was definitely lifing. Life is lifing today. I'm not gonna lie. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Got hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How am I?
You know?
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing. It is not really what I want it to be right now, but you know, when I think about where I want it to be, I always try to think about the things I do have.
Yeah.
And that might sound like a cliche, but I do. I try to think
a
about the
good one to
things that
follow.
I do have, you know. For example, I went the last 2 weeks without my car, and you don't realize the little things until you don't have. I mean, I'm not saying that the car is a little thing, but we take for granted being able to just go get in your car when you have a thought of going somewhere. And there were so many times I had a thought of going somewhere, then grabbing my keys and remembering, that bitch ain't gonna start. So, you know, life is lifing, but at the same time, I'm still blessed in many, many ways. So I look at that and try to let that be my. I know, because I know, you know. And I want to say this too, because this has kind of been on my mind. This is gonna be one of those streams. This is gonna be one of those streams where I have an agenda, but at the same time I don't. there's things that I do want to talk about, but at the same time, this has been a slower Marvel week, so there's not a lot unless you've been paying attention to Daniel Richmond, who has been on fire with a lot of his scoops. But I know there are a lot of people within this past almost 9 weeks now. It's been 7 weeks since life has kind of changed for me in ways to where I've had to move on to a different employment and different things like that. But with that, I know that there are people that have watched either these live streams within that 7 weeks or paid attention to me within that 7 weeks, whether it be on this stream or outside of this stream. And I know that there have been some people that have been preying on my downfall, whether or not I've physically heard that or seen that or not. And I'm not saying that, I'm not one of those people that's like, everybody's out to get me. But I know what I know. There have been people that might have been, looking to see where am I at, how am I doing, or whatever. Know that I'm fine. Know that I'm blessed. Know that there's nothing that can ever happen to me or a situation to me that I will not get myself out of with the help of my Heavenly Father. So I'm fine. I'm blessed. Again, life has been lifing, but when you look at it all juxtaposed to everything else,
it could be worse.
It could be worse.
And it's crazy because you'll sit there and be like, okay, life is lifing, but we were in a worse position 7 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a worse position 2 weeks ago.
That is
we were
true.
in a worse position, 4 months ago. So it's like,
that is true.
I may not be exactly where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I was, and I'm so content with that right now. And I feel that.
Yeah.
And for sure. Yeah.
So, hi, haters, and everybody
Hello.
out there.
It's me.
I'm fine. We're fine. But we are going to get into some of the things here. Like I said, if you just joined in or whatever, I have an agenda. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. There's some things we're going to talk about. I'm going to jump into the Reddit a little bit. Some of the things that were said on the Marvel Studios subreddit that were posted there. We're going to obviously talk about what Taika Waititi had to say. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. I was going to talk to Jonathan Major's trial beginning today, but you know what? I don't want to. I am so sick of talking about Kang. I'm so sick of talking about Jonathan. Not that I don't care. I'm just talking about once the trial gets going and some more stuff comes out, we'll discuss then. I don't want to discuss, because what am I going to say today? Right. Jonathan Major's trial started today, then I'm going to go into talking about, well, here's the things we know about Jonathan Majors. Here's the things we all know that shit. I don't want to talk about it. So we're going to move past Jonathan Majors, and we'll come back to that when some more information comes out about Jonathan Majors. Of course, like I said, I'm going to talk about Taika and his comments for Thor Love and Thunder. We're going to talk about the Scarlet Witch movie that has been rumored. When these rumors come out, that's why I always tell people on my Instagram, because I do a lot of the more posting on my Instagram story than I do Twitter. Well, I'm on Twitter a lot too, but not as much as I am on my own Instagram story. So I post a lot of stuff there that I see come from like the Geekster or Cave Comic or some of those other posts like that on Instagram. And the Scarlet Witch movie, along with some of these other rumors and stuff like that, is stuff we covered long time ago. So like the Scarlet Witch rumor movies, it's not new. I guess there's new details as far as like who they want to write the film and the showrunner from WandaVision coming over and things like that. That stuff is, I guess, new. But as far as like the overall looming thought of a Scarlet Witch film being on the minds of Marvel Studios, that's not news. We'll talk about other things, like I said, coming from Daniel Richmond, who has been on fire this week when it comes to his scoops. Talked about Cap 4 and Marvel being disappointed in Cap 4. As we're gonna get to Cap 4, but we know it's going through extensive reshoots and things like that. But get to that, and we might, I don't know, because this is another topic I'm quite sick of. It is the fucking Fantastic Four. We might cover some of the things going on in the Fantastic Four that, and we might not. I don't know. Let's just see. Like I said, this is one of those streams where we're just rolling. So if you're here, you're just rolling with us.
Welcome to the Corian and Darius show. We're just rolling.
That's what it is. That's what it's going to be today. Just going to be rolling. But so we'll jump into first Taika. We'll jump into first what Taika had to say. So
Yeah, because I saw this and I was low-key kind of...
I listened to it. The quote wasn't good enough for me. I had to hear it, and I'm gonna play it for everyone.
Audio. I just saw the quote and I was like, questionable.
Yeah, no, the quote wasn't good enough for me. I was like, nah, bro, I have to hear him say this,
Yeah.
and it was so much better hearing him talk about it. So when we talk about Taika Waititi here lately, it has been the, oh God, Taika Waititi, oh God, please stay away from whatever my beloved franchise may be, whether that be the Star Wars fans, because there's his Star Wars film that he's going to be doing, or whether you're a Marvel fan and you just don't want him coming back to Marvel after Thor: Love and Thunder. But the thing about, being a movie fan is, especially when you're a director, you can 1 minute have the fans on your side, like Taika did with Ragnarok, which I always say every time I'm on here, we talk about some of our top MCU films. Ragnarok is in my top 5. Ragnarok is by far...
It's my top 5.
It is gold. MCU gold. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And so, when you talk Ragnarok, Taika did his thing on Ragnarok. For a lot of fans, that was a lot of people's first introduction to Taika, within the MCU rather. Coming to Marvel, doing Ragnarok, that was a lot of people's first introduction to Taika's work, and then from there maybe might have researched other things too from him. But what he did with Ragnarok was great. But when you come back to Thor: Love and Thunder, because we were all excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't. Thor: Love and Thunder at one point was on my most anticipated list until we saw it, and it turned out to be what it was. So once you have that film, and then you've got Ragnarok, fans are obviously going to turn, because as we've talked about so many times with Love and Thunder, was Marvel giving too much free reign to Taika, because the film was just a huge, as I said before, it felt like a parody film. It felt like the parody that takes place within the film with Melissa McCarthy and Matt Damon and pretending to be Loki. That felt like that was the movie. That felt like it was an entire parody of whatever Thor was supposed to be. I felt like we didn't progress the character of Thor. These are things I've said, but I'm just kind of reiterating it. We didn't progress the character of Thor. It was too comedic. I didn't like the ending part with the whole giving the kids of Asgard his powers. Like, when has Thor ever done that in the MCU? I always say this, the very beginning really bothers me, when he's doing the monologue at the beginning and he says, I just wish someone would come over and say, Thor, we need your help in a battle. And then Peter Quill comes over and says, Thor, we need your help in a battle. Then he rips Stormbreaker out of the ground like it's a tree. I mean, it is a tree, it's part of Groot, but rips it out of the ground and then rides it like a broom, like a witch, down to the battle. And for me, I remember sitting in the theater when that happened, I said, oh God, is this going to be...
I was so confused.
Yeah. So that wasn't... Thor: Love and Thunder was, again, what Thor: Love and Thunder was. So Taika Waititi has recently come out in a recent interview with the Smartless podcast. The Smartless podcast, I didn't know this, was hosted by Jason Bateman. I'm a huge Jason Bateman fan. I love Jason Bateman. I love him in Ozark. I love his range. Jason Bateman has range. And when it comes to his humor side, if you don't have that dry sense of humor, you're really not going to laugh at Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Okay, what else is he in?
Horrible Bosses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Jason Bateman's great.
Yeah, he's hilarious. His funny side is comedical.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's hosted by Jason Bateman, and I forget the other two, but they're also in Hollywood. But this is what Taika had to say. So we're gonna listen to the whole thing here, and then we'll get everybody's thoughts. Let me find where I downloaded that. All right, let's listen. Let me know if you guys can hear. Hold on.
Answer that question. We've gone straight to the next one.
To watch you suck Marvel's dick for so long was a real treat.
I took it all. Did you see me take it all?
You did take it all.
Yeah, right down to the pubes. Let's get the answer now.
Okay.
The pubes.
Oh my God. Jason watches gay porn in his free time.
Fuck it. Oh,
What happened to me? You know what? I had no interest in doing one of those films. It wasn't on my sort of like my whole plan of like my career as an auteur. But I was poor and I just had a second child, and and I thought, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to feed these children.
Or do what my dad did. Go ahead.
And-
Continue.
Right, okay. Well, I'm still doing my answer.
Sorry. No.
Yeah.
And your dad.
Quiet, John.
Hang on. Okay, so then they called and they said, do you want to do this? And Thor was probably, let's face it, was probably like the least popular franchise. It was I had never read Thor comics when I was a kid. That was the comic I picked up and thought, oh, would never open. And then I thought, and then I did some research on it, and I read
A full one.
Thor
Yep.
comic.
yeah.
All 18 pages or however long they are.
Sure.
I was still baffled by this character, and I thought, well, you know, if
let's
there's
be
anything I
honest.
can bring to this,
Let's be honest. When it comes to comics, I mean, red is a stretch. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Keep going. Looked at. Okay.
that, I flicked through. That went,
Yeah.
that's enough, and then pitched myself. I thought the only thing that I could bring was as a character. It's like just looking at Thor as a character, and he's like a billionaire, lives in space, and he's just who looks ridiculous, and that was sort of the end. It was like, well, let's just highlight that. He's like a rich kid I pitched that he's a bit like you and me, Jason, that he hates germs,
Right.
and
That didn't scare the shit out of them?
I think there was no place left to go with that thing.
Everyone had passed.
I was like, it felt like, I thought, wow, they called me, and this is really the bottom of the barrel. This is the barrel.
But Feige has taken a nice swings on. Actually,
He has taken great swings.
Right.
And,
I mean,
yeah,
starting
to
with
their credit.
Favreau, right, and then I mean, like, and Kenneth Branagh and Chloe Zhao, and I
Yeah.
mean,
The
it's
Russos.
Like, the Russos, like
those
I
guys.
guess it has been directors that have been outside of the box, but
But they know what they're good at, right? They're good at
Yeah.
keeping everyone in their lane and making sure they don't veer off into something else that doesn't feel Marvel. So they bring people in who are good at story and making great characters, and bring something unique, and then they'll keep it within the Marvel.
Right.
and you obviously had a great experience because you went back for one. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Went back-
Ragnarok.
Yeah, but it is true. Like I remember, we
funny.
have friends of ours who are doing another one of these. I won't name it, but it's a series of movies that takes place in space, and they went off a little bit. I think veered a little bit off the plan and ended up not working out because they had too many ideas that were outside.
That wasn't
of
Marvel, though.
No. I didn't say it was Marvel. I said it's
Okay.
a
Good.
different
Yeah.
thing, but it was outside of the playbook a little bit, right?
Right.
And so that
Right.
it made them nervous because they got a lot at stake. Again, it's their property and they got a lot at stake.
Yeah.
So when they hired you, though, Taika, I mean, again,
Well,
knowing
the fans
you,
hated it, by the way. They hated that I was doing
They hated
this.
Thor.
No, the fact that I was when I
Oh,
signed
really?
on for that first one, and they're like, "Who's this guy? He's gonna."
No,
ruin
but they
it. He's gonna-"
fucking end up loving it. My kids who are big Marvel fans, like my son Abel, still to this day. When I told him that you were on the show tonight, he was like, "Wait, he's on the show tonight?" Because he loves fucking Thor so
yeah, but
much.
he's an idiot, though.
No, he's not an idiot. He's a funny fucking
Abel's
kid.
the
He's not a.
dummy.
He's not a. He's not
Archie
a
gives
dullard
him a
like you.
compliment.
Wait, Taika.
You get a compliment out of Archie. You got
When
something.
you hear
This
that
is
about
the 7. This is the 7 o'clock version.
Yeah, we're
of
getting
this
grouchy.
podcast.
Bateman's 45 minutes past gummy hour, and it's not.
starting to shake.
He's got the fight. It is not pleasant. Amanda won't let him in. Amanda's going to text him and say, "You take that gummy, and 15 minutes."
They
The-
go on for a second.
Almost did a legitimate spit.
okay? Fans, like you said,
It
were
made me happy.
and she's looking at her watch. She's like 30, 29, 28, 27.
Fucking,
Taika, when you hear that fans, like you said, were
It made me happy.
okay.
Yeah.
Next question. The
Almost did a legitimate spit.
okay, right? And then I have to ask about Mandalorian because I'm a massive.
Okay, so obviously you hear what Taika had to say there. So my thing is this, though. If you go back to before Thor Love and Thunder came out, before it got messy, Taika Taika had nothing but good things to say about Marvel. He had nothing but good things to say about Thor. He had nothing but, I'm sure, obviously, and still has nothing but good things to say about Chris Hemsworth and etc. But he had nothing but good things to say about the franchise as a whole. Now, some people could argue, well, he was under contract. You know,
Right.
obviously, when you're under contract, you cannot speak negatively and things like that. Blah 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 blah. However, he was excited after Ragnarok to get to work on Thor: Love and Thunder. Let's not forget the fucking press conference that went on for Ragnarok. Taika Waititi was sitting down with David Letterman. He was David Letterman, my apologies. He was sitting down with Jimmy Kimmel. He was sitting down with Jimmy Fallon. Late night, correct me if I'm wrong, but he sat down even with Stephen Colbert on the late night show. And they, during the Ragnarok press conference tour and things like that, even the Graham Norton show over in England, discussing how hype he was for Ragnarok, how hype he was, and he couldn't wait to get started on Thor: Love and Thunder. After Thor: Love and Thunder came out and we all sat down and watched the miserable fucking disaster that it was, Jane, that terrible shit,
Yeah.
that's when fans turned on Taika, and that's when Taika turned on fans and turned on Marvel.
Right.
Because this was never the conversation with Taika at all. Before you go, I want to say this is what Taika said about Star Wars too. So this is why I'm in no rush, and I don't want him to touch Star Wars at all. Because when you're saying things like this is what's going to get the fandom against you. This is why people are against Taika, because Taika doesn't know how to shut up. It's kind of like a James Gunn situation where James just goes off at the fucking mouth and doesn't know when to stop. It's kind of the same thing with Taika. Taika will just say shit and expect for that shit to just blow over. Maybe he doesn't expect for it to blow over. Maybe he says that shit purposefully. Like this quote I think is purposeful. This right here. He was asked recently to describe his Star Wars project, and the director revealed that it will be controversial. Why the fuck would a Star Wars film be controversial? Star Wars should not be controversial. It is, due to what Disney has done with it with 7, 8, and 9, but Star Wars should not be controversial. It's never been controversial. So for him to say it's going to be controversial, he said it'll be, then he took a dramatic pause, it's going to piss people off. What the fuck does that mean?
Like, why? Then why? What's the point?
And my thing is, if I'm Disney, if I'm Kathleen, if I'm Lucasfilm, if she's still in charge of it, whoever the fuck is in charge over Lucasfilm, I'm looking at that quote and I'm immediately saying, I'm looking at the state that Lucasfilm is in, I'm looking at the state that Star Wars is in, I'm immediately saying, do we want to bring this fucking liability on right now?
Right.
With the state we're in, do we, and I think that's a Marvel question too, when picking out these directors, they need to start asking themselves, looking at the current state that Marvel's in, do we want to bring this liability in? That's why ties were cut with Taika. Because Taika's direction that he went with Thor: Love and Thunder was completely Marvel's fault, because they let the reins go. They gave it to him. Completely Marvel's fault. But instead of Marvel trying to correct it, allowed for Taika to, allowed for Taika to say all the shit that he's saying now, you know?
Right.
So it's just like I said, I don't want Taika anywhere near Star Wars. I think he is. I think Taika's a good director. I really do. I do. I think that he goes off at the mouth a lot, though, when it comes to some of these franchises in the fandoms. That's not the first time he has said something about the Star Wars fandom. That's not the first time he said that his film was going to be. I think the first time he talked about Star Wars, he said his film is going to be. It's going to divide the fandom. That's what he said. He said the film is going to divide the fandom. So when you have directors making statements like that coming into franchises, again, if I'm Kathleen or anybody over there, I'm looking at Star Wars, and it is at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the shit barrel. Just because Ahsoka had a few good episodes, it did not save the state of Star Wars. Star Wars is still at the bottom of the shit barrel.
Right.
And I guess that maybe depends on what side you're looking at it. But from my side, it's at the bottom of the shit barrel. So when you have directors coming in saying shit like that, I don't want them near it. And I think it's the breakup is ugly, but I think it's good that Marvel cut ties with him. He doesn't need to be involved with Thor 5. And anyway, Chris Hemsworth said if he was going to do Thor 5, it had to be more serious and more of a darker tone. So,
and just not something that he brought to the table.
Yep.
Necessarily.
Yep.
Did he also do Thor 2?
Who? No, Dark World? No,
Yeah.
he didn't do Dark World.
Okay.
No, that wasn't him. He got brought in apparently as, I guess, a last-ditch effort. I don't know what all directors Marvel went to before settling, I'm assuming, the way he put it, and he could just be exaggerating, but settling on Taika, I don't know. But according to Daniel RPK, Gareth Edwards, who directs, we haven't gotten there yet in your Star Wars journey, actually quite a ways away from it, but Rogue One, who directs Rogue One, directed Rogue One, directed the creator, directed the Godzilla movie, not Godzilla vs. King Kong, but the first Godzilla movie. I didn't like that one. We watched the creator the other night. I fell asleep.
Just wasn't your cup of tea.
No. I thought I was really going to like it, just from the trailers and things like that. I fell asleep on it. And that's not to say that... And I kind of wanted to make that comparison with Gareth Edwards. 2 films he's had so far that I was like, oh... Well, 2 films he's had so far. 2 films outside of Rogue One that he's done that I've seen. And I'm like, I didn't like Godzilla. He didn't do Godzilla vs. Kong, but I didn't really care for that one either. But, and then Creator. Don't really care for either of them. But I fucking love Rogue One. Rogue One is by far one of my favorite Star Wars films. I think it's in my top 3. It's in my top 3. I love Rogue One. And Gareth Edwards did that. So when I saw that his name was attached to that, Marvel's wanting him to do Thor 5, to bring that more darker tone and things like that, I think Gareth Edwards can bring that. I really do. Again, look at the tones that Rogue One is in. Rogue One, for my Star Wars fans, Rogue One is great. I think he can bring that. Only thing about it for me is it's that same thing. It's not even really a thing for me. It's just that same conversation, though. You know, on one hand, you can say Ragnarok is great, Taika. On the other hand, you can say Love and Thunder's shit, Taika.
Right.
One hand, you can say Rogue One is great,
Right.
Gareth Edwards. The creator and Godzilla, not so much. So I guess it really just depends on material, depends on the direction that the director is given from the studio, the franchise, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that Hemsworth has a lot of say in the direction also. I hope he has a lot of say in what he wants to see in this next Thor film, because since we last saw, the last time I really, really loved Thor outside of Ragnarok was Infinity War.
Yeah.
That was the last time I really, really loved Thor.
Yeah.
That Wakanda entrance is by far...
I said, okay, Thor.
Yeah, that's tough.
It took this long for me to like you, but okay.
That's tough. There's that.
Bring something to the table.
There's that. I hate him at the beginning of Endgame because I don't like the whole fat Thor. I understand that in Norse mythology, yes, Thor is fat like that, but I didn't. When I first saw Endgame, it really didn't work for me. It's fine. But the other thing, outside of that, the entrance in Wakanda, the other time I really love Thor is when they are about to fight Thanos, and he says, "Let's kill him properly this time," and brings the thunder and all that shit, and that's just a. Although Thanos kicked all 3 of their asses, that's a great scene.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. So, but any thoughts on that before we turn it over to see what everybody has to say?
I mean, I can definitely agree. I'm pretty ecstatic that he's not going to touch Thor. I think it was time to cut ties. But as far as Thor 5, I'm very curious to see, like, what else he has for us. Because, like we said, the last time we really saw him that we liked was Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've gotten since has added nothing to the timeline, nothing to the storyline. It was literally a complete waste of time.
It really was.
Like, honestly. So it's like, where do you pick up from there? And, like, how do you continue on? Especially in the state of where the MCU is.
And how do you make that fit in to the current story?
Yeah. Is this like, I'm like, is this more
after Secret Wars or before Secret Wars? I'm assuming it's after.
I would assume it's after, but also...
Is Hemsworth going to be around for the reboot?
Well, I think they got Hemsworth.
Yeah, but there's that whole thing we covered at the very beginning of this year with the health issues Hemsworth was having.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's where I'm very curious. But I'm also, is this also a ploy to get people back into the seats? Like, you're just pulling and stretching to get people from the original first 3 films? You know what I mean?
Well, I think anything they do right now is a ploy to get asses in the seats.
True, you're not wrong.
Because they need it. They need it.
Everyone, Thor? Like,
well, honestly, Thor is one of the only still remaining original Avengers, outside of, if not the only. Is he is the only.
No, because
Hawkeye is Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner will be back, I'm assuming.
yeah, but like MCU wise, like Hawkeye is alive and well.
Yeah, Hawkeye's alive and Thor is there.
Yeah.
So, but with it, yeah, so those are the only two remaining actors within the MCU that are still from that OG cast. Oh, Ruffalo.
Oh yeah.
I forget because they fucking
Yeah.
nerfed him and he's
Damn
handing out
it.
tacos.
Yeah,
so
like-
I forget, you know.
and his
who remembers
Hawaiian
that
ass
shit?
shirt handing
Yeah.
out fucking tacos.
Yeah. So Banner, Hawkeye, and Thor. So, but yeah, I do think Thor could do that because it is a household name, because it's that original cast, because it's Chris Hemsworth.
True.
And again, if it is that dark tone, imagine what those trailers would look like. A dark tone Thor with Stormbreaker. Not just with Stormbreaker, you still got the whole storyline. He's got Gore's daughter with him.
True.
You got that whole story there. I really want them to take that post-credit scene with Hercules and throw that somewhere else. I don't want Hercules to come unless it's gonna be some dope ass, like, I'm talking like,
Kicking ass and taking names.
I'm talking God of War style
Yeah,
type
like,
fighting, type
fucking shit up,
That
yes.
that type shit.
Okay.
Take Hercules and throw him.
But I
don't
have
want
a feeling that
it
they're
to
not
be in
going to
that.
do that. With like how they portrayed him, I'm like,
But they could take that because what we saw of him was, brief. It was seconds. It was just Zeus saying, whatever he said to him, then him turning around saying whatever the fuck he said to Zeus. So they could take that post-credit scene, still do Hercules, but if you have a director, like, I'm just assuming if Gareth Edwards does do it, you take Gareth Edwards, you have him take whatever darker, more, like I said, that God of War tone type of approach to Hercules hunting down Thor. But you don't hunt down Thor. That's the thing. It's like so it would really have to be one of those head-to-head type of.
yeah,
But like I said, you've got Love there as well, the little girl.
yeah.
So I don't know. I really do think Thor can put the asses in the seats, though.
If they do it right. But that's with everything right now with the MCU.
No.
If they do it right.
But as always, question is for you guys. Yeah, that's a good one, Cornelius. Throw in Beta Ray Bill. But as always, questions for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Are you excited for Thor 5? Or are you, is it something that you want? Do you think that Thor 5 would be a film that would come before Secret Wars to play into that whole storyline? Or do you think it would be more of a film that comes after Secret Wars within the reboot? And if so, does Chris Hemsworth stay on as Thor? And would that be his last appearance as Thor? I personally don't see Hemsworth unless they throw the sink at him, the house,
Yeah.
continuing on as Thor after Secret Wars or Thor 5 whenever it takes place. So you guys let us know down below what you guys are thinking. Also, what do you think about Taika Waititi's comments about it was just a paycheck for him and he just needed that Thor Love and Thunder and Ragnarok just to pay or to feed his kids. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. What are they saying?
Grand Regent Thrag said, no respect for the source material, shaking my head. D-Swizzle, swap up Thor with any other character and his attitude sums up the MCU creative process.
Yeah.
Raptor Cloak, first Marvel and then Star Wars. Is Disney suicidal these days or what?
Disney should have never acquired Star Wars. I will continue to say that.
I feel the same way about Marvel.
I could agree with that too.
Why? Why? Just why?
Disney needs to give Star Wars away.
Man.
Sell it.
Cornelius, Taki seems like a good dude. Marvel is just drunk for giving him a second film.
Yeah, like I said, I think Taika is a good director. Outside of outside of Ragnarok, there's other films that Taika has been a part of and helmed that have been great.
I just think they gave him too much power with
way too much power. Way too much.
And if what he's saying is true now, petty or not, you obviously had no respect for the source material.
Exactly.
And you never took it serious. So.
But you know, that goes back to that same old thing we are constantly talking about when Nate Moore said, we don't like hiring people on, whether it be, he didn't say people, let me quote him. He did say writers, but I'm going to take that writers as an umbrella term.
Yeah.
And there's others that fall under that. So they don't like hiring individuals, put individuals under that umbrella, that know the source material. Because as you heard Taika say, he had never picked up a Thor comic. And he said the one he did pick up was like 18 pages. I flipped through it or whatever. He's like, and afterwards, I still didn't understand the character. So, I mean, you gotta, it's that age-old conversation. The Russo brothers, Marcus and McFeely. And the rumor mill is that Marvel is in talks with the Russos. And this has kind of been not a hush. This has kind of been whispered a lot. Not a lot, but I want to try to say, when's the last time we were talking about the Russos? We weren't talking about it on here, but
I think when we first started talking about Secret Wars.
I think so.
And we were talking about, they haven't found a director yet. I think we were talking about Secret Wars when we first really started getting info about Fantastic Four. And we were like, oh, Russos, they need to come back and do this, right? The
rumor mill is that they are trying to get the Russos.
For
what project it would be, I don't know if it'd be an X-Men project. I don't know if it'd be Secret Wars. Actually, also, according to Daniel RPK, right now, I think it would probably be more of a X-Men film because their top director right now for Secret Wars is Sam Raimi.
Really?
Yeah. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it.
Honestly, and you might look at me a little crazy when I say this, I would prefer Sam Raimi to do Thor 5 than Secret Wars.
He would definitely put Raimi is very,
because he comes from a horror background. Mm-hmm. He was a horror director. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the horrorness of like Doctor Strange kind of came from. So I think he would be great for Thor 5 to kind of emphasize on that darkness and that gory and just like that different side of Thor that we've been wanting to see as a fan, but not for Secret Wars. Yeah. Not for X-Men, not for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't need to be scared in these, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need all that to bring these people in.
No. And I say that Raymond said, and this was something I was going to talk about. I mean, it was in the news this week. I just felt like this was not news. Somewhat. But I felt like we kind of talked about Michael Waldron helming Secret Wars. Isn't that not up on our... Is there not a video up? I think I have a video up of us talking about that.
Maybe a couple weeks ago.
No, I'm talking about this was old. Hold on.
Old? Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but anyway, like Raymond was saying, Michael Waldron, who wrote Loki and wrote... I think that's all he's done written for... Oh, I'm sorry, Multiverse of Madness as well. Multiverse of Madness and Loki will be writing Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. And a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about that. And a lot of people have gone to say with Michael Waldron... I don't know how this proves anything, but they've said that further... Well, Daniel Richmond said that further proves that Kang is going nowhere. The new rumor mill is... And I'll take all this shit with a grain of salt. That it's going to be... Doom versus Kang in some type of
I've been
deal in Secret Wars.
Like, because I've been seeing for the last week now that they are going to introduce Doctor Doom.
Yeah, in Fantastic Four, he's still gonna. He's not. Doom is gonna. It's not gonna be until like the very end of the film or a post-credit scene when he shows up.
So Fantastic Four is still going to be focusing on Silver Rider.
Yeah, Silver Surfer. Yeah,
Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But an end credit is how they introduce Doctor Doom. I mean, I guess I can kind of see why they would want Waldron, just because Loki was the one that introduced us to Kang, so I think that would make... Like, the connections make sense, not necessarily... Because you said he was going to do...
He's doing Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. He did Multiverse of Madness and Loki.
I think Kang Dynasty would make more sense than Secret Wars.
I mean,
I just think the Russo brothers need to take Secret Wars.
They need to get the Russos to do something. But as far as Waldron goes, he is going to be the one. That's what I was looking at. He is going to be the one handling that film. When did we talk about that? Because we talked about Michael Waldron doing Secret Wars. That was
maybe when we.
That was. Hold on, because I know it's on here. Boom. A year ago.
Damn.
So that's why I'm always like, when this shit comes out, I'm always like, wait a minute. Is this
Deja
news?
vu. Yeah, like
like,
deja vu.
like, is this news? Because we talked about this. Yeah, we talked about that a year ago. Michael Waldron, hold on.
Okay, but does Doom and Kang make sense?
Okay.
What, Doom fighting King?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
Because, like, was that ever a thing in the comics?
No.
Right? Like, I didn't miss nothing, right?
Well, I mean, in Secret Wars, no. I'm
But isn't
I'm
Kang
beginning to get
supposed-
more and more worried about how their version of Secret Wars is going to look.
Right. Because isn't Kang also taking us straight into Secret Wars or just Deadpool 3?
No, several films are setting the ground for Secret Wars. Deadpool 3 is going to set the ground for Secret Wars. Spider-Man 4 is going to set the ground for Secret Wars. Let me double check the others. It's Deadpool, Spider-Man 4. Hold on. Deadpool, Spider-Man 4, Shang-Chi 2, and Fantastic Four are all going to set the stage for Secret Wars.
That's interesting.
So there's going to be several films that are setting the stage for those.
And Raymond both said that him writing King Dynasty is new.
Yeah, the King Dynasty. Yeah, that's right. King Dynasty is new because at first it was going to be what's his name, Loveness. Loveness was going to originally do King Dynasty until he bombed on Quantumania, and they took that away, and obviously now giving it to Waldron.
Yeah. Real quick, Raptor Cloak said, yeah, Kang and Dr. Doom brawled in comics a few times, if I'm not wrong.
No, they did. In the Secret Wars, no. In the comics, yeah. But in the story of Secret Wars, what they're trying to do, no.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And then Cornelia said, yeah, that's why they hired Waldron. They trust him to tie all together because they're all still things about Loki's that's unanswered. That's what I was trying to get to. Like, that would make sense for him doing this, at least King Dynasty, because it's all going to tie together. But I'm still curious how King Dynasty is going to get us into Secret Wars. Like, that's the part where I'm like, how are we mending this?
I don't know. I don't know
bridge
how.
here?
I don't know how they're doing any of. Like I said, I just don't want it to be another Secret Invasion situation where it's you've taken the name, but it's your own made up terrible story. And I don't think Secret Wars is going to be terrible. First of all, they can't afford for Secret Wars to be terrible. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to bring in. You know, the actors and actresses that you have to bring in for this film, the effects that you have to, just the budget alone, what that film is. So it's going to be a lot of money. So I think obviously Secret Wars, and I'm saying obviously, but I can't say obviously because I was talking to somebody, I don't know who I told this to, but before we sat down, I have it in my Snapchat memories. Before we sat down in any Marvel film, I always took a picture of the when it starts.
The credits. The beginning credits.
Yeah. And I always took a picture of that and would post it on my Snapchat story, and I would always say, Marvel about to do it again. I haven't done that since... Actually, I think the last time I posted it, I put Marvel about to do it again with the shrug, because it was... I think we watched... Quantumania. Yeah. That was the last one I did it for. And so it's like one of those things...
Early, that was early this year.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't know. I would like to say, obviously, Secret Wars is going to be a gem.
but we don't.
But I can't say, obviously, Secret War is going to be a gem. Obviously, I just don't want it to be, again, what Secret Invasion was. I don't want it to be the name and then your own shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, whatever Waldron's doing, if he can tie it all together.
Hopefully. I need to know how we're mending all this together, because I'm lost in the sauce.
Yeah, and I agree with Nico, what he said about Kang and Doom should be their own separate storylines. Doom for sure should be his own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, but like, what does Kang have to do with Secret Wars? Because the few,
you know, when they named Kang to be the villain, and I'm still high on the whole Kang thing being the. When I say that, I want to make sure I'm not contradicting myself in what I've said in previous streams. I'm still really high on the villain of Kang being the central villain. However, it has been diluted, my excitement for the character, because you've shown me nothing, and we were introduced to Kang in 2019 in the MCU. It is 2023 and he has done nothing. The MCU has not been, or the multiverse has not been exploited. There's been nothing that has made this threat that the Avengers and everyone else is supposed to be fearing, that the TVA is so afraid of, and no, there's been nothing that Ant-Man is so afraid of. I mean, obviously Ant-Man saw it firsthand. Obviously Loki saw it firsthand, but so they have reasons to be afraid. But he's supposed to be this conqueror. He's supposed to have gone to other, universes, and everything we know about Kang in the comics, I'm assuming, are things that they've placed on him within the MCU. So if this is the Kang, remember that one comic strip, the comic panel I showed of Kang's trophy room, of all the things he had in there, when he had a version of Reed, he had like a mask of Spider-Man, he had a shield of Cap, he had Thor's hammer. Those were different Avengers from different universes that he had conquered. This Kang that they've introduced in the MCU,
it would have made more sense if he would have escaped Quantum Mania.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, like the way it ended, I was like, but if he's stuck, like, how does he conquer? How does that? And then, I'm not even gonna lie, in Loki season 2,
Kang was introduced in 2019. Loki season 1 came out in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, yeah. 2019. I don't give a fuck if that was He Who Remains. That's still a version of Kang.
That's what I'm saying. So in Loki season 2, I was kind of waiting for Victor Timely or old one that He Who Remains to do a little plot twist, and I'd be like, okay, that makes more sense. But nothing is. Every time Kang is on the screen, there's a door shut in his face. So like, how is he supposed to be conquering if he's not free from whatever?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is 2021 for Loki. I'm thinking. I don't know why I'm thinking. The reason I'm thinking 2019 for Loki is because I'm mixing Loki up with the scenes from Endgame that are in Loki.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
2021.
But yeah, so I'm just I'm curious because I'm confused.
Yeah, like I said, they haven't progressed this. They haven't progressed this character
And I was very excited for Kang, because Kang is like...
I still am. I still want to say that I want to see what Jonathan Majors is going to do.
In the comics, so I'm like, damn, y'all just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still am, but there's still, there's still nothing that has been done with the character, so we just gotta wait to see. But as far as Doom coming in, we'll have to wait to see what that is with Fantastic Four. So I will go ahead really quick with the Fantastic Four. Here's what it is. We know that Anna Taylor-Joy has been rumored to be playing a female version of Silver Surfer, and that could either be Frankie or Nova. More people leaning toward her being Frankie, and that was all fine when I posted that on Twitter. It's fine. I never said anything about, I just said I'm sick of the Fantastic Four, because I am. I'm sick of discussing the Fantastic Four. I'm sick of this cast right now. It's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. It is.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel about it.
Yeah, I figured.
I really don't. I don't see Pedro Pascal as
I
Reed.
love him as an actor, but that's just not.
Yeah, I think he's a great actor. I mean,
That's
hell, I'm
not
rewatching Game of Thrones right now, and him as Prince Oberyn. He's great. Pedro Pascal is a great actor.
Yeah, but I just do not see him as.
He
Reed
is
Richardson.
not fucking Reed Richards.
Yeah, that was. Not...
And maybe we are gonna eat crow. Maybe once we see Pedro Pascal as Reed, maybe be like, oh damn, this is Reed. As of right now, I don't see him as Reed. The same way I never saw Adam Driver as Reed. The only person that I really, out of that rumored casting that I ever saw, was Penn. That's who I wanted. I wanted Penn Badgley to be him. But the others, the guy that plays you, or in you.
Yeah.
The others, I never saw them being Reed. So it's Pedro Pascal as Reed. It's her name escapes my from The Crown.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yes, she's playing Sue. From Stranger Things, Eddie. Real name escapes me too right now. Joseph Quinn. Joseph Quinn is going to be playing Johnny.
I'm actually very okay with that.
And
what's his? I'm not.
I really like him. I thought he was fantastic as fucking Eddie.
But you don't think
Munson,
he
no.
That obnoxious. You don't think so?
I just don't feel it. Maybe it's because I don't know, bro. Maybe it's because we've been talking about the Fantastic Four. Now that one has been since 2019. Maybe we've been talking about the Fantastic Four for so long, and we've had our fan cast. And I wanted them to do Rudy Pankow from Outer Banks. I wanted him to be the blonde from. I wanted him to be, or I would have even taken what's his name? I forget his name too. That plays Sadie Sink's brother in Stranger Things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I would have taken him. I forget his name, but I would have taken him as Johnny as well. I don't see Joseph Quinn. Everybody outside of Sue. Who's playing Sue?
For me, it's everyone outside of Joseph Quinn, because I see it. I'm like, oh, that makes so sense. Vanessa Kirby is the one.
Vanessa Kirby.
Who's
outside of Vanessa Kirby, I don't see anyone else as. And the dude playing, because it doesn't matter who plays. As far face wise, it does not matter who plays Ben. But outside of Vanessa Kirby, I don't see anyone else as.
Darcy Montgomery was the guy that played Sadie's.
Darcy, him. I could see him because the fan casting for. Hold on, let's see the one for Rudy. Rudy Pankow, Johnny.
Raptor Cloak. I've been hearing the same thing more on Killigan Murphy though than I have John Hartnett for Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah, I would actually. I really wouldn't mind. What's his name though?
Killian?
No, him either. But
I was I was not mad when I saw that. Josh
Skarsgård, not Skarsgård.
Hartnett.
Is it Skarsgård? No, the Mickelson brothers. What's his name? He plays in Rogue One. Forget his real name though. Let me find that picture of Rudy though, because that's who I wanted. This is not the fan picture originally. Mickelson. Who is it?
Mickelson?
Lars? It's not Lars. It's his brother. What's his name?
Mads? That's what everyone keeps saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What was his name? Darcy what? Montgomery? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Darcy Montgomery. Johnny. Oops.
He was my whole plot for that season of Stranger Things. I literally just kept coming back for that man alone. And then they introduced me to Eddie. Destiny for Christmas last year got me a poster. It's this cartoon poster of like Eddie, and he's like all jacked up, and he's shirtless, and he has a vest, and he's like in the upside down, and there's like bats flying everywhere, and he's just like holding this guitar, and he's like standing on top of a devil head. Oh my god, I'm just obsessed with it. I love it.
Yeah, see, I didn't mind Darcy as
Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
Johnny. I mean, let's see. Have there been any fan edits made of Joseph Quinn?
I don't know. I haven't personally seen any. Yeah, I think they just announced Joseph Quinn not too long ago.
No, he's been. It's kind of been on there for a little bit, rumored wise at least. Just him in the suit itself. No flame on.
Isn't that first one that you were about to click? Is that not a flame one?
Oh, there's a flame one. There's some fire. Okay. That one?
Yeah, that one. Or no, the one. Go back. That one. Nope. Scroll up. The very first one. Is that not him right there?
This one?
Yeah. No.
I don't think that. I don't know.
That's like him with his beard.
Yeah, that's him.
I feel like if he has a beard, like he could pull it off.
You know, at one point this was real. They wanted Matt Smith.
Oh, ew, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
No.
and maybe it's that picture. I know it's that picture. It's that hair. Obviously, his hair's not gonna be like that, but.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that character was.
Johnny's
character.
goofy and things like that. But we'll see.
See, I don't know. That one so far is like, okay, I'm not mad about it.
We'll see. So anyway, more on it is that they're still going to be from the 60s. Their universe is going to be destroyed. They're going to escape the incursion, either something that Rita's created, or another way they're going to escape that incursion and get into the 616 universe. Again, the main villain of the film is going to be Galactus and his heralds. It's not going to be Doom. Doom is going to show up toward the end. It's going to be a post-credit scene type deal. He's not going to have a role at all in the film, from what we know so far. And again, take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
And outside of the other things that we already know about the Fantastic Four, because we've been talking about this shit forever, that's it. That is it. You know, the cast was supposed to get announced last week. That hasn't happened. Oh yeah, and they're going to start filming in January because they're trying to rush this thing along. They are behind, so they're going to start filming Fantastic Four in January. So it'll start filming then.
So are they like officially taking their hiatus 2025 or
2024?
After
2024 for the reboot.
Yeah.
Reboot's going to happen after Secret Wars, but as far as 2024 is concerned, the only films coming out from the MCU, and we kind of talked about this last week, I guess you could say if Sony is merging with Marvel, their films, that those universes rather are merging together, then in my opinion makes Madam Web, Venom 3, and Kraven the Activist MCU films. So you will have those 3 films plus Deadpool 3 for 2024.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Okay. No.
But official MCU movies are only Deadpool 3.
Are we getting any shows next year?
What's her name?
Echo? Okay, and that's it?
I think so.
Oh.
What If? Is that this year? I think What If is this year.
I was like, oh, I can't get much worse than that.
It's either this year or next year. I can't remember. There might be another show.
Someone said Agatha next year.
Is Agatha next year? I thought Agatha was 25.
I thought Agatha was 25 too.
Did Agatha get changed to 24? Or back to 24? Because it went through so many fucking date changes and name changes. Speaking of Agatha, they do. Let's. Since I said there is no agenda, they do. There is this. This came out for Agatha.
No worries, my mom. We ain't on no scale.
What is the name of it now? Dark Diaries. Darkhold Diaries. I'm still calling it Coven of Chaos. It's a first look that just came out. Yeah. So let's. And I never watched it. So let's go ahead and watch it.
I was so patient, waiting for you to reveal your true self.
We knew we had something special on our hands, but I think we were all flabbergasted by the reception. People were hungry for something that felt nostalgic and something that everybody could sit around and watch and wait for on Friday nights. Friday nights! Like, who stays at home on Friday nights and watches something with their family?
You have no idea what you've unleashed. You're gonna need me.
You know, I started talking to Marvel about developing something else, and so we had early conversations about, you know, what could that be, and maybe it's this property, and maybe it's this property, and everything that I pitched included a storyline about Agatha. I remember Kevin saying to me, like, we really should think about an actual Agatha show, and I was like, where do I sign for that job?
Yeah. We got this.
We got it!
The character is so deep and heartfelt and dangerous, and continuing the story of Agatha and getting to know her more was immediately an imperative for us as creatives.
There would be nothing more delicious to Agatha Harkness than to be in a spin-off. The whole thing made total sense to me, and I was just so excited and thrilled.
I love you guys so much. Love you, Catherine. Love you back.
To be playing a witch in the MCU is amazing.
So that was I remember seeing those pictures, the still photos of it, but that is our first real look at Wiccan in the MCU.
Amazing.
Where is he?
Love you guys so much. Love you, Catherine. Love you back.
To be playing a witch in the MCU.
There he is.
So it's our first real look at Wiccan, and you guys know as much as I can already hear Cornelius and everybody else in the chat, because I know nobody is anticipating Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Darkhold Diaries, name changed 4, 5, and 6. I know no one's looking forward to it. At one point, it was also on my most anticipated list until we read the leaks that came out for it, the plot leak that came out for it, then it kind of changed my anticipation for it, and then some of the other things that have come out kind of changed my anticipation for it. Now, the show, since my anticipation was changed for it, has gone through more changes, and possibly another plot leak is soon to come out. If not, and it's still that same plot leak because nothing else has come out, and I'm feeling like it's going to be that same one with what's her name playing the Green Witch and all that shit that they're going to be doing in it.
Yeah.
Then we'll see. But I'm still excited for this because Wiccan. Not just Wiccan. I know Agatha, everybody's like, who's excited for a side character? Who's excited for a side, blah, 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 blah. But it's the witchcraft element for me. I don't really care if it's Marvel. Witchcraft. I don't care if it's Disney. Like I said, my all-time favorite season of AHS is Coven.
Yeah.
Coven is fucking amazing. And anything when you get...
My comfort show was Charmed.
Yeah.
Original.
Anytime you get witches, magic involved, like that shit is just dope to me. And I thought that's one of the reasons why, outside of it just being a good show for me, WandaVision was so great was the twist of Agatha.
Did we ever find out if this was going to take place during WandaVision?
No, this is not during WandaVision. This is after. This is sometime after.
Okay.
But was, like I said, the twist of Agatha, the reveal of it, not even so much the reveal, because I felt like that was kind of known at some point throughout. Well, actually, let me put it this way. No, if you take yourself back to 2019, there was a lot of speculation. A lot of us thought it was Mephisto.
Yeah.
There was a lot of us that's when it was fun to be a Marvel fan, because there was so much speculation. There were so many different theories and conversations and threads going on Twitter and online. It was great.
We were not.
It was fun.
No.
It was really fun. And like I said, when Agatha, for me, it was when the conversation, the dialogue that Agatha had when she's got the boys hemmed up in the street. She's like, I know who you are. I know what you are. You're the Scarlet Witch. You're supposed to be a myth of being capable of spontaneous creation. Here you are, using it to make breakfast for dinner. And I'm like, bro, that's like just all of that. Like, and then when Wanda threw the power at her, and then she grabbed and Wanda looked confused. She's like, I take power from the undeserving. That's kind of my thing. And I'm like, Catherine Hahn, though, is what brought it for Agatha. Catherine Hahn is fucking brilliant.
Catherine don't play.
So,
I'm here more for the witch element. I'm very curious about Wiccan, but I
love Wiccan.
I'm really more curious about, I'm really just here for Catherine, because I'm just such a huge, I just love her. I just feel like everything she does, she takes it to heart. I don't think it's going to be bad. Do I think it's going to get ratings like season 1 Loki? No, because I don't think the promotion's going to be there. Also,
I know you lying. These still no damn Power Pack show.
Also, like a lot of people have said in the chat, like, how is this necessarily going to progress us in the MCU that we are now? And, like, what does this have to do with the larger picture? So, as much as I'm excited to see certain little things, I'm very much like, is this something that could have waited?
And this is not me trying to bail out the show, because as you guys know, I said it once was on my most anticipated list. It's now just, wait, I just got to see the show. If the rumors are true, and Wanda will have no part of the show from what we know so far. If the rumors are true, and they are trying to do their version of Children's Crusade that feeds into their overall storyline with Doctor Doom now being involved. Remember what I said. This is my theory. Hello, this is mine, okay? That's kind of the same theory I had with Spider-Man, the Spider-Man stuff going on with Miles Morales. This is mine, okay? Wanda's missing. Dead.
Yeah, I was like, I don't believe she's dead, but I get what you're saying. She's missing.
Wanda's dead in the MCU right now. We are in the MCU approaching that from what Marvel's trying to do, not me, what Marvel's trying to do, they're trying to streamline that Children's Crusade storyline. We know the Young Avengers are now getting built. We saw that in the Marvels with Ms. Marvel and Kate. We know that there are already several Young Avengers already in the MCU that are just not a part of the Young Avengers team. We know that Marvel is trying to do a Children's Crusade storyline that whether it's not going to be its own film, but it's going to be feed within. I don't know if it's going to feed within Kang Dynasty. It might be its own film. I don't know. I doubt it, though. Highly doubt it. But elements of it might feed into Kang Dynasty. We know that elements of it are going to be brought into Agatha. We've heard elements of it are going to be in Vision Quest, which is oddly still happening. I thought that shit was canceled.
Okay, we're still
Elements of it are going to be in Vision Quest. Elements of it are going to be in, did I say Kang Dynasty already? Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
So if that is true, and where we currently are is around that Children's Crusade time, in Children's Crusade, the comic, and we know that Marvel doesn't like to use source material, but let's say for the sake of it, maybe they are looking at this book. In the comic itself, Wanda is missing. You know, nobody knows what the fuck Wanda is, because this is after the whole House of M events and all that shit.
Right.
Nobody knows what the fuck Wanda is. Who are they trying to currently introduce in the MCU? Outside of Kang?
Doctor Doom.
When Wanda was missing in Children's Crusade, where she was found was with Doctor Doom. Her mind, she couldn't remember anything. She had no memory of the events of how she couldn't remember anything.
Right.
And so she was engaged to Doctor Doom. Now, I'm not saying that Marvel's going to do this or anything like that. I'm just saying she was engaged to Doctor Doom. So in Children's Crusade, Doctor Doom plays a much larger, well, I don't want to say much larger role than Kang, but it doesn't get interesting, really. Children's Crusade is great for me, but it really doesn't get really, really interesting until Doctor Doom enters the picture. The stuff with Kang is interesting, too, for me, personally, but, you know, a lot of people don't really care for Children's Crusade like that until Doom enters. But, so I think that could be a storyline that they play with. We also know that if this rumor is supposed to be still true, that Wanda is going to be a plot device used for Kang going forward in Secret Wars and things like that. You know, I'm sure with the whole promise of still being able to give her kids and things like that without dream walking and things like that, or whatever it may be. So we could be seeing something like that where they're using that. We also know that, you know, some of the X-Men from the Fox universe are coming over from Deadpool. Right. You also need a lot of those X-Men to execute. You know, again, it's the MCU. They're not going to do the proper Children's Crusade, but a lot of the X-Men are involved in Children's Crusade. It's a very big battle that takes place at the end. People die. So it's just like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like if they're going to do that, and that kind of brings me into one of the topics there, which was Wanda, the Scarlet Witch movie. Mm-hmm. This is what Daniel RPK said. Daniel RPK, on the slew of scoops he released this week, said, make sure I have, my fault, that's why it's on here. Daniel RPK said that Marvel Studios reportedly wants to develop a Scarlet Witch film. The studio wants Jock Schaefer, who was just talking in the video there. She's a showrunner for Agatha and for WandaVision. But they want her to come over and do the script also for the Scarlet Witch film.
They want her
to do that as well.
And to direct.
I don't know if they want her to direct, but they want her to write.
Okay.
They want her to write it. So if she does come over and writes the Scarlet Witch film, and this is not something that's like a new rumor as far as her being involved, that's new, but the Scarlet Witch film being on Marvel's minds, that's not new. They've been wanting to do that. I don't care what...
But this wouldn't be like an origin... Well,
no,
because we already have her origin story with Ultron.
No, she is the Scarlet Witch now.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's... We
so
would
this
be
would
seeing...
take place after Multiverse of Madness, technically.
Right. The rumor was it would be... Can you hand me that book above you, please? It would take place around this time. This is the comic that they're trying to adapt here. It's Witch's Row. Don't know if this is still on the table for sure or not, but the last time that the rumors came out for this movie, it was that she's going to be involved in Witch's Row, and that takes place here. For those of you who don't know, it takes place here in the complete collection for the Scarlet Witch. Great. I advise anyone, if you haven't, to pick up a copy, read that. It's great.
I'm still working through Loki.
Great one in here though. But Witch's Row. So it's a place that only witches can access, and from what we saw from the rumors of at one point, that's where Wanda is. So again, these rumors are from months ago. This could change, especially now with a new writer involved. That she was going to be in the Witch's Row, and that Wiccan was going to be in Agatha, going to know that she's there. They're going to find out that she's there, and they're going to be trying to find he's trying to find a way to get into the Witch's Row so that he can talk to his mother. Okay. It sounded like shit then. So hopefully that has been changed. Not sure, and I'm assuming it is going to be changed again with a new writer and things like that. But I don't care what Joanna Robinson said in the Marvel book, or the Reign of Marvel book that she did, when Kevin Feige and everybody told her that, you know, she's the Scarlet Witch is dead and she died in Multiverse of Madness. Obviously not. Like it's not. So even though Elizabeth Olsen has come out and said that, you know, she's happy with where they left Wanda and things like that, you know, Kevin Feige even said she was gone, all that stuff. The film is something that they are wanting to do. At one point, Wanda, we thought was going to show up in Agatha. I don't believe that is on the table anymore either. I don't believe Elizabeth Olsen's going to show up in it. I also don't believe she's going to be in Vision Quest either. She might, but I don't think so, because I think the reveal of where Wanda's going to be is not going to be in fucking Vision Quest. Yeah. Or Wonder Man. For those that have been saying, well, she could show up in Wonder Man. No. I don't, again, if after Marvel saying that she's dead and all that kind of stuff, her showing up in another character's, you know, a show that no one's going to watch. Well, let me not. I don't want to say no one's going to watch Wonder Man. I don't know that. But an unknown character. We know no one's going to watch Wonder Man. To most audiences, an unknown character, they're not just going to make her show up in that. So, I mean, they could to make people watch it. It'd be like that one episode of She-Hulk everyone watched when Daredevil showed up. But yeah, so that's what they're doing there with the Scarlet Witch. We just gotta wait to see how all of it's gonna look. As far as Agatha goes, though, I still do want to see what they're going to do with that show. I do.
I agree with you, not again, Randy.
Mm-hmm. Now, staying on track with the disappointing things in Marvel, because I feel like that's just, when you talk Marvel lately, unfortunately, it's not an us thing, it's just a reality thing. Marvel is reportedly reportedly, according to Daniel Richmond, not happy, very disappointed with Captain America 4. According to insider Daniel Richmond, Daniel RPK, Marvel Studios reportedly disappointed with early cuts of Captain America Brave New World. The studio believed the action sequences were too bland compared to the previous film in the franchise, leading to extensive reshoots in a 7-month theatrical delay. And it's doing 6 months of reshoots right now. Like I said, due to the negative test screenings and things like that. So,
but we kind of already knew that. I think we talked about that the last time they changed the name and the plot. We were just like,
yeah,
we're going to reshoot that.
They're reshooting, right, 6 months, though. That's enough to just reshoot a whole damn new movie. So,
exactly.
So, you know, I don't, this is still in line. And actually, I do want to say this because Bob Iger.
Bob.
Speaking up, because I'm just this is in line with what I'm saying, with what I'm about to say about the disappointingness of Captain America 4. Bob Iger said he blames COVID and a lack of supervision for the Marvel's box office performance. COVID. He blames COVID and a lack of supervision for the Marvel's box office performance. So the reason that Bob Iger believes that the Marvels did so terribly is because that the pandemic that's keeping us all in our houses, that's been keeping us in our houses for the past 3 years, that pandemic is still rampant and strong and it's got businesses closed down, and that's why the Marvels didn't do good. He also said that lack of supervision. So I'm assuming, well, not I'm assuming, I read the whole quote. That wasn't the whole quote, but the whole quote, he goes on to say how it was poor advertising and things like that. It was blah, 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 blah. That ain't what the fuck is wrong with the Marvels. And it had nothing to do with COVID. It had nothing to do with lack of supervision or any of that. It had to do with lack of hype. It had to do with, and when I say lack of hype, that has nothing to do with the advertisement. You could have advertised a shit out of the Marvels and still no one would have won.
True.
And you cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot convince me otherwise. I said it from day damn one. No one was gonna watch that film.
I mean, you're not lying.
And so you can't convince me otherwise. Even if they would have spent $2 billion on advertising, I don't give a fuck if they would have made Brie Larson personally come to every home in America to shake every hand to come to the day. No one was going to go watch the Marvels. No one gives a fuck. Darbin. Okay, so yeah, no one was going to do that. So as far as like Captain America goes, and it being disappointing, and the 6 months of reshoots and things like that, I don't even know what that film's going to be anymore. I don't know what it's like. At one point it was going to be a Hulk film. At one point there was like 6 fucking Hulks in it. You had Red Hulk. You had Taco Given Hulk. You had She-Hulk. You had hairline pushback scar Hulk. Betty was going to be in it as the female Red Hulk. And all of this was supposed to take attention off of the lack of hype, because, again, that's why I read what the thing about what he just said. It has nothing to do with any of those things. It has the lack of hype for Marvel. The reason that they had to put all these Hulks in, or at one point in the draft they had all, I don't know what the film is now, but at one point had all these fucking Hulks in the film, was to take the attention off of no one gives a fuck Sam. Powerless Sam.
I'm not going to even lie. From the moment Cap gave Sam that shield, I've been hella confused. I mean, I know in the comics, like, that's what happens. It gets passed down to Falcon. But I feel like that was, like, one of the many mistakes that MCU just slipped on. Because even in the 3 phases that we had with Cap and Sam, there was nothing built. There was no hype. And now all of a sudden he's just supposed to take Captain America's place?
I mean, but, and Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to do that, and it failed miserably to do that.
He's just a black brother in a suit.
That's
and
it.
And you want me to get excited for...
That's it. I mean, he literally said that in the show.
He literally said that
He said, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes. Not just a black man wearing... And I don't... You know, people keep saying, well, he's got a vibranium suit. That's great. That's fantastic that his suit is vibranium. That's... Hey. Yay. However, he's still powerless.
Right.
Vibranium is not a superpower. He is still powerless.
No powers.
He's a powerless man leading a superpowered team. And at one point in the draft, not only was it the fucking 6,000 Hulks in the film, you had him building a small Avengers team. I don't know this for sure. I don't believe Isaiah Bradley was going to be a part of that team, but Isaiah Bradley and Eli were also still, I believe, in the film. You have a lot of people in this film to take your attention, and now the argument has been made. Well,
I got you, Sam.
In Civil War, which is a Captain America film,
right.
It's still a Cap film. In Civil War, you had all those players and blah blah blah. It still didn't take your attention off the Cap. It didn't. Who the fuck did that though? That's the early days of Marvel.
Yeah.
That was the Russos. That film, first of all, you can't compare any. Winter Soldier stands in a lane of its own.
I was about to say, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier stands in a lane of its own.
Yes,
that film is
top tier.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Not just Winter Soldier, but Civil War is also great. It's also great.
But I get what you're saying. There was literally the whole entire Avengers team and then some involved in this movie.
And you still had your focus on Cap. You still knew it was a Cap film.
Yeah.
Both times. In Winter Soldier and in Civil War. Exactly. You still knew those were Cap films. Regardless of having the screen demanding presence that Robert Downey Jr. is, you still knew it was a Cap film.
But then that leads me back into my previous conversation. The times that we were introduced to Sam was so mediocre compared to Bucky. I was sitting there like, it would make more sense to give Bucky the suit at this point than Sam.
Said that. Yeah.
Because, like, what the fuck has Sam do besides not outrun you?
Right. And that's, I agree with what Xavier just said. Xavier Phoenix just said. He said, Sam is not a threat to anything coming. We watched Kang point his finger at MODOK and start crushing. Now, I don't know if that's because of the technology he built that he can control that's on MODOK. I don't know. Well, no, because we watched him do the same fucking thing to Cassie.
Right.
When he said, I will kill her in front of you and make you relive this moment over and over and over again. So, powerless Sam running at Kang is just going to point his finger at him.
This movie, this next Captain America 4 movie, I don't know how, I don't care how, but y'all gonna have to give my dude some powers, or else this shit's not gonna make sense.
I thought in the show when all the pills or when the serum got dropped, I thought this brother's gonna pick it up and inject himself. He needs to. He needs to, because.
What are we doing right now? You're getting your ass. Bucky is saving your life once again.
Now, do we want to talk about the Thunderbolts? Do you want to know what's going on?
I really don't.
So, here's the things we know about the Thunderbolts. Things we've already known. Obviously, the Thunderbolts is going to be the Suicide Squad version of in the MCU.
But for what?
Honestly, this film doesn't matter. Cancel it. I'm just being honest with you. It doesn't matter. It's inconsequential to anything going on.
But for real, you know what's low-key giving me, though? It's giving me wannabe Suicide Squad.
It is. That's what it is.
Wannabe Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what it is.
You're not James Gunn, and you can't turn this group of, like, we already got that. We already got that story, so, like, all these characters can be placed in different storylines besides what you're trying to do with Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I mean,
literally.
You've got the sin. I think we might have talked about. I don't remember. We might have The third act, though, the Sentry, the Void, rather, is not going to be a entity of its own. The Void is going to be a realm that you can enter in and out of, like the Upside Down, because this is now Stranger Things. So that is what the Void is going to be. The Void is going to be revealed in the third act to be a place that you can enter in and out of. It is not going to be the Void. And you know what my main question is? Why not just do the Void the way the Void is done in the comics?
Right. That's why I was like, I feel like that defeats the whole purpose. If you can get in and out, that defeats the whole purpose.
Bro, the Void is so fucking strong that it took... what comic is it? Help me, chat. What comic is it where the Void... Was that Siege? Was that after Siege? When the Void took over... And, like, they all had to realize, like, some of the villains and heroes realized, okay, we got to work together to fucking take out the Void.
I think it was after Siege.
I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, that might have been after Siege. But, yeah, the Void, bro, it's not a place. It ain't a place that you enter. Yeah, it is after Siege. It's not a place that you enter.
Oh, someone said I believe it was Siege.
Yeah, it's not a place that you enter. It's, nah. So, that whole thing right there, obviously, so why do we think they did that? It goes back to the previous conversations we had when we first learned that Sentry was going to be the villain, or the focal pointed villain maybe, of the film. We knew they were going to nerf him. We all said that. When we learned that it was going to be Sentry, every person in this chat, every person in this room said they're going to nerf him. Because how the fuck do you do the Sentry without... I mean, you do him. You just do him. Honestly, you just do him. But in the MCU, they nerf characters all the time because they don't know how to just properly just do the character. The same way they nerfed Ultron.
Right.
Because you can't just properly do the character. So we all knew that they were going to put the Sentry down somehow, and that's how they're doing it. They're not. So you're taking the most powerful attribute away from him. The Void. Yeah. Sentry's powerful on his own, but the Void is something different.
Right.
So you take that away and you make it a place. Now, how that place plays a role in the third act, I'm not sure, because the only thing we've learned from that leak from Daniel Richmond was that it's going to be a place that you enter and out of.
What I'm being nice and giving it the benefit of the doubt, and somehow they find a way to separate Sentry from the Void and make it and the consequences of that makes it its own. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there for it to somewhat make sense, but like, you're not wrong. Because what I can remember, I didn't have that. My brother had that comic, so the parts that I remember, like, yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
I like I said, what did fuck, why am I blanking on names today? Hopper and Hop and Stranger Things. David Arbor. David Arbor, who I love, by the way. I love David Arbor. But he even said in the quote that from earlier in the year, he said, we're a group of misfits. Let me get the exact quote. I don't want to... and if you're new, hey, thanks to everybody that's here right now watching. We appreciate everybody watching. Hit that like button for us if you wouldn't mind. And if you also wouldn't mind telling some of your friends and family and whoever else you talk to out there to come and subscribe to the channel. We cover all things movies, TV, streaming, hot topics, and more. And we are going to start being live, trying to be live almost every day, starting after the new year. Yes. Going back to what we were doing previous. So, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's get those subscriptions up. But let me get what David Arbor said. Thunderbolts. Hold on. All right. This is what he said. He said, I don't like their website, so we're going to go to Screen Rant. And I really don't like Screen Rant. I don't like Screen Rant. He Dang it. I can't find it now, but he said, really exciting work happening. No, that's not it. He at one point had said, I can't find it, but I am going to find it, because we covered it. We talked about it. When he said that they are a bunch of misfits. He said it's a bunch, I don't remember the exact quote, but he did say misfits. He said a bunch of misfits together. I think he even called them idiots or something at one point. It was a whole quote he said.
Yeah.
Not downing the movie. He was just saying, like, they're characters. They're I mean, we'll see. And then we also know that Dreyfus, I forget who plays her. Oh yeah, Julia Marie Dreyfus, who plays Val, asked for the fighting scenes. She wanted more action scenes, and they gave her that in Thunderbolts. So she's supposed to have a lot of. I mean, she's supposed to be one of the central members on the team fighting in this film. So we'll see a lot more fighting from Val. I guess the way she because Julia picked up comics. I watched the interview that she did back then when she was talking about it. She said that she had picked up a comic and she had saw how dope Val is, and she was like, I want some fighting scenes like this in the movies and things like that. So of course they gave it to her. So she's going to have some fighting scenes in Thunderbolts, and we'll just have to wait to see what Thunderbolts is. At one point, what's his name from Tiamat? Tiamat sticking out of the ground was supposed to be a central point in Thunderbolts, but that's another unanswered question from the MCU. So we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do like Florence Pugh and I do like David Harbour, so
I do too.
I like the actors, but again,
I think the cast is fine.
What is this going to do to further what the fuck is going on? So then why the
what did Omni-Man tell him? Here's the fun part. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It doesn't progress the Thunderbolts is not. So and then the last thing we can kind of do here is what I said. Let me show that. This is just stuff from the Marvel Studios subreddit this week. There's the thing that Bob Iger had said, blah, 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 due to COVID. This one, no one gives a fuck. Bruce Campbell says all of his cameos in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films and Multiverse of Madness are the same character and will be revealed soon. Bruce, I hate to bust a bubble. No one gives a flying shit. We can't even figure out what's going on with the main characters in the MCU, let alone a character that we haven't seen since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, that Pizza Papa, whatever the fuck he was in Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. That was so... That made me mad that it was one of the post-credit scenes. No one gives a fuck, Bruce. Then this is from, it says Marvel Studios is reportedly exploring different characters for potential Disney Plus series, which may include The Punisher, Ghost Rider, Alpha Flight, Runaways. I believe it's going to be the Alpha Flight one because that's going to introduce Wolverine, because as we've talked about, Wolverine is going to be on Alpha Flight before he's on X-Men in the MCU. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm sorry. I hate that. I hate it just as much as y'all do.
Okay.
That is the rumor though right now.
That's interesting.
Runaways, Jessica Drew, and select members of the X-Men. There it is. Select members of the X-Men.
Right.
I'm telling you, Wolverine's going to be in Alpha Flight. And that was rumored maybe a month or a half ago or so. Then it goes on to talk about the Scarlet Witch. Wanda will not return in Agatha Darkhold Diaries. And then Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus reports that Eric Martin is in the writer's room for Avengers films. This is coming from Can We Get Some Toast? He said, sure, tap the creator of Loki, but not the guy who wrote most of the first season and was the head writer for Loki season 2. Eric Martin should have been the writer for Avengers Kang Dynasty instead. I don't disagree. Especially if they're trying to tie all the Loki stuff in.
Exactly.
Let's see. Aman Vanali says Kamala Khan is the central character in Marvel Zombies. This is what they described it to her as. She said, they describe it to me, it's like she's basically the Frodo of the story. Oh no. And I was like, that's amazing. Is this animated?
I hope so.
It has to be animated. Is it? I don't remember if this is animated.
Why are we doing
this? Is coming from the direct. Hold on. The Marvel star Aman Vanali commented on her time recording as Kamala Khan recording. Yeah, it is animated. For the upcoming animated series Marvel Zombies, a spinoff of What If. What If's 5th episode was first announced back in November 2021. The project was not only will not only be one of Marvel Studios' first few MATV TVR-rated projects, but it will also debut with a notable low episode count for 4 episodes for its first season. Of course, we can never do full seasons for anything, and whatever, it's animated, so why it's 4 episodes?
We're just doing 4 episodes. Why are we doing this? Who asked for this?
The show promises to expand upon what audiences saw in What If, with many classic and new heroes joining the mix. This will include zombified versions of Captain America, Carol Danvers, Icarus, and the Abomination. Among the living will be the MCU newbies Yelena Valavo, Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan herself, and many more. And yeah, we remember seeing this premiered at D23, I believe it was. So that we'll see those guys.
Take that money from this bullshit of a non-necessary show and completely cut our ties with. We can take both of those budgets and pour it into projects that we really need right now to explain what the fuck is going on. So I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a damn about what's happening in What If, and I don't give a damn about the zombie version. I don't even like zombies. I'm not even a zombie person.
I've never cared about What If. I don't care about What If's comics. I don't care about anything about What If.
Who wrote this into Disney/Marvel and who came up with this and why?
And that's why I've always said, what if they took that money and it's kind of like Patrick. Why don't we take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
Take What If and push it somewhere else.
And put that money to something that we actually need for these projects that are coming up and to end this horrible saga that we are in and move us forward, because why? No one wanted What If. No one asked for a spinoff, let alone fucking zombies. That's your best version of a spinoff? Fucking zombies? No. Throw it away.
And they announced, Marvel Zombies normally, the comics, and Marvel Zombies is dope. But that was one of the episodes I did watch of the ones I did watch of What If. But I just don't really care for it to be animated at all.
That's why it's just.
And it's like I said, like you said, it's inconsequential. Well, I don't know it. I don't know what role it's gonna play. Actually, I do know this. This is old. I don't know if it's still on the table. The Marvel Zombies are going to play a role in Secret Wars. There's going to be a tool used by Kang. Remember, in Secret Wars there are different. It's Battle World. It's all those places put together. So you've got Thor on doing his thing, policing. You've got It's been a while. Forgive me. You've got everybody doing their own thing, basically, though. So, in one of those, from the early leak, early on, it was a while ago. This was a while ago. That one of those fractions were going to be the zombies, Marvel Zombies. That Kang was going to have the Marvel Zombies in part of Battle World.
Really?
So we'll see.
Either way, I'm just like,
we'll see.
Yeah,
we could talk about DC for sure. Let's see what's going on in DC. I know I'm excited for Legacy. They don't currently have a writer or anything for Brave and the Bold. They do have a writer for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. They have a potential casting for Supergirl. Forget her name. Let me pull that up really quick.
Is that gonna have to do anything with the show that CW put on, or is
no? That can go to hell. This is something completely on its own. This is in James Gunn's new universe. Did I not like that? Oh, here it is. That's her name.
Oh.
The girl from, what's it called? Riverdale.
Riverdale. Lily.
Yes. The girl from Riverdale.
That's her name, right? Lily?
Yeah. Reinhardt. Lily Reinhardt. Yeah. Yeah, so...
I wouldn't be mad about that for Supergirl.
Yeah, they're looking at potentially having her play Kara. So, she might be playing Supergirl. Oh, yeah, that was the picture I saw on put
Tweet.
So, we might have Lily Reinhart as Supergirl. We've already got Cornsweet as Superman, Kal-El, and he looks great. So far, he looks great. We've got several characters in this world already that are being built. You've got Brainiac, you've got Hawk Girl, you've got Lex, you've got Morph, you've got Mr. Terrific, and some of the others. I know I'm missing some other names. You've got the Green Lantern because Guy Gardner's in it, and Superman Legacy. So you've got all these characters that are already being introduced into this world. The League is not established. Kal-El hasn't been here that long. He's still trying to figure out who he is and things like that. Brainiac is going to be the overarching villain of Superman Legacy, although we got Nicholas Hoult, who plays Beast in X-Men, the newer versions of the X-Men, who is going to be playing Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's not going to be the villain of the film, but as we know, if you know DC, you know these characters, you know Lex is going to have his hand in something. So, as of now, I want to say those are the things we know about Superman Legacy. They've started
Pretty promising though, for the most part.
No, they haven't started. They might have started filming. I could be wrong on that. I could be getting my dates crossed. I don't remember if that was in February that they're starting or if they've already started now. But so they're ready to get it rolling though, for sure. Trying to think other things going on with DC. We got a new recently teased poster for the new Joker film. I don't know if everybody saw that. I'll just pull that up. It's nothing like special at all. It's just I don't even see it on there. It is. Yeah, it's nothing special. It's just, hey,
That's it.
Joker's coming. So Joker, Folly of Dew, Joker 2 is going to be coming out with, obviously, we know that's still going to be rated R. Lady Gaga is going to be playing Harley Quinn, and I'm waiting to see the trailer for that. That is by far one of the best DC films that has come out. I always use this comparison. Heath Ledger, for me, no one could top that, and still no one has.
No.
But if you talk about someone that's right, that did a damn good job, I'm not going to say right there with Heath, but that did a damn good job, Joaquin Phoenix did a damn good job playing the Clown Prince of Darkness, for sure. And it's with Joker being my all-time, he is. He's above Vader, sorry. My all-time favorite villain, I love Joker 2. I love Joker. I love Heath Ledger's, and I love any time that Mark Hamill portrays the Joker as well. So I'm really excited for this. I really am. So we'll wait to see what that's going to be. Let me think other DC stuff that's going on. The Authority, that's yay. The Authority's coming. Oh yeah, they're going to be in Superman Legacy too. That's how. So their animated deal, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Authority is animated. It's going to come out, but it's going to be the first thing that comes out. Then we're also going to see the Authority, but live action, because the events of Authority, even though it's animated, are going to affect the overall storyline that James Gunn is trying to tell. So we're going to see that Authority again. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to see that Authority from the animated show in Superman Legacy.
Oh, interesting.
Because they're going to get their hands on some tech or something, or somebody got their hands on some tech, and the Authority gets sent in, but it's Kryptonian tech, and Superman thinks that it's something that can help him find out who he is, where he came from, and he's going to take it back to the Solitude of Fortune, blah, 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 all that stuff. I've read the plot synopsis.
Creature Commandos is the animated show.
Ah, that's right. Creatures Commandos is the animated show. I got that mixed up. But the Authority, so whatever, okay, I got that mixed up. That's right. The Authority is just going to make their debut in Superman Legacy. It's Creatures Commando that it's the animated series. Yeah, that's right. So,
is that the same group that James Gunn was going to do?
That's a good picture.
A live action, like, wasn't there a group that he was gonna do like a live action of to kind of start the whole DC, or are we still starting with Superman?
No, it's Creatures Commando. Creatures Commando is the one that starts it. Then I mean, well, he says Superman Legacy starts everything, but Chris Commando's the first movie.
Okay, but is that going to be live action or animated?
No, it's animated.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris Commando is animated.
That makes sense.
So yeah, let me think. Anything else DC that they've been talking about? Penguin. Penguin has been delayed a little bit because of the strike, but it is coming to HBO Max soon, and that is going to be taking place in the Matt Reeves DC universe, the Elseworld stuff that James Gunn has talked about with Robert Pattinson still portraying Batman. So that's going to be the Penguin that we saw in Batman. It's going to be a series going on as he becomes the Penguin, because in Batman he is not the Penguin. The series he is going to become the Penguin.
Is this a villain?
It's one of Batman's villains, yes.
He's so cool.
So yeah, he's going to become the Penguin in the series. So we'll see that happen.
Penguin?
Yes, the Penguin.
And I'm supposed to take that name seriously?
If you are a Batman fan, you take all of Batman's like, I mean, there's worse. There's Clayface. There's Man-Bat. There's the Penguin.
That, like, waddle and
yes, but he's not a penguin. Now, if you want one of Batman's villains that's actually what he's named, Man-Bat, he actually is a Man-Bat. So yeah.
His name.
But the Penguin is not an actual penguin.
Can we vote that we just changed that name altogether?
But so that series is going to be going on HBO Max. When it's going to be debuting now, I'm not sure. But
I don't, Cornelius. I don't know anything about DC. Like, nothing.
Yeah, no, not a DC. She's not a DC fan.
No, I was just telling my sister, because we were talking about things to get for KJ for Christmas, and I said, oh, like, you know, any type of clothing. We really need, like, underwear right now because we're potty training. And I said, but, like, I swear to God, if I receive anything DC, like, it's going to Goodwill. It's not staying in this house. And
I love DC.
She looked at me like I was a psychopath. And I said, are we really going to sit here and judge me for being prejudiced towards a comic strip when there's people out there, like, way worse in this department than me? Like, why would I keep something in a house that I'm not going to appreciate when I can give it to someone who will? Because it's not validated over here. Like, it's just not. So I can't be fired for something.
You got to get into.
I've been very real about from the jump, Cornelius. Like,
yeah, you got to get into DC because
y'all want me to get into DC, but this nigga's name is Penguin.
Yeah,
but have to give me something more.
The thing about Marvel has a bitch named Squirrel Girl.
I mean, I'm not saying it. I mean, yeah, and there's Tank Girl, and like, don't get me wrong, I know Marvel has their like fair shares, but if Batman is like your guy in DC, the Joker, yeah, love the Joker, but the Penguin,
yes, but
that's where you lose me.
Yes, but you say that not understanding or knowing who that character is, because the Penguin is still one of Batman's top tier villains.
Give me something, pull something up, give me something. I just because I'm not. I can't take that seriously.
What was it? They've also got the Waller series. That is with Viola Davis. That is happening to. Oh yeah, Waller is also in Superman Legacy because she sends in the Authority to pick up to handle the crisis that's going on, or pick up the alien tech that they find in. I don't know if it's going to be the Middle East anymore or not, but in the plot synopsis it said the Middle East. But is that it? Is that it? I want to say, as far as DC news goes, as far as projects that are upcoming that we know about, that James Gunn's introduced, that is what we know so far. If there's anything else out there that I'm missing, please feel free. But yeah.
Maybe after Star Wars, we should go down a DC route.
There's no DC route to go down, though.
Exactly. Point taken.
There's no movies that, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't want to rewatch any of the, unless it's the Snyder cut itself. I don't want to watch Man of Steel and that's not it. No, that's not, the point is that is poor direction, poor studio, poor David Zaslav and everybody else has been over there at Warner Brothers. I've said this many times, and people may agree, people may disagree. If you were to take the two franchises, and realistically, I'm not saying like having someone write them. Let's use our geeky minds here and say this shit is real. You take those two franchises, you put them against each other. DC mollywops Marvel.
Like comic book wise.
I'm talking power against. You take those characters against Marvel characters.
Okay.
They mollywop them. This is gods. Those are men.
Right.
So, like, it's very different. Very, very different. That's why I said those stories over there, Marvel, I'm not Marvel, DC's more golden age superheroes, where it's like, you get your Superman, you got your Wonder Woman, you got your, Aquaman and stuff like that. But like I said, people may not everybody may agree.
I think I just relate with Marvel because every character in their own way is just broken. And I'm low-key broken, so I'm like relatable. And you have superpowers. Let's fucking go. Who needs therapy when you have
And see,
Marvel?
like Cornelia says, like, yeah, Marvel is mostly grounded. Yeah, it is. Like those heroes, just looking at that group there, then you look at the small group there. You've got Kal-El, fucking Dr. Fate, Raven, the Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, and Batman with enough time can beat any motherfucking body.
True.
So it's like,
I mean, I can literally, that's the only thing I can give DC is Batman and Joker. Like, those are the only two characters I vitally respect.
And then, of course, don't let me forget the Green Lantern Corps, because that's a whole nother thing. The Green Lantern Corps, it's on its own, is a whole, it's its own, like, bruh. DC is when done correctly. Now, if you want to go down a DC journey, we can do DC. I'm sorry, I can take you down a DC journey. I can take you animated because DC's animated shit does not fucking miss at all. Young Justice is top tier. You can even take it all the way back to the early 2000s when the original Justice League was on, when it was just the original group. That shit was dope.
The only DC series I ever truly watched and loved was Teen Titans. Love that shit.
Yeah, Teen Titans was great, but some of the stuff they have for DC animated is it's TVMA. It's all very adult, so it's very gory. They cuss. It's the way DC is. It's the way the way the comics are. It's great. Like I said, Young Justice. It's 4 seasons right now. The 5th season might be getting... So that's DC news. For those that don't know, if you didn't watch Young Justice or you're a Young Justice fan, you've been waiting to hear some stuff about Season 5. Season 5 may be getting picked up by Netflix and may no longer be on HBO Max.
Oh, interesting.
So it may be getting picked up by Netflix, but we'll have to wait and see how this messy stuff ends. And if it doesn't end great, the bad news is we will not get a Season 5 of Young Justice. We'll be left on a cliffhanger with the way Season 4 ended. And that's unfortunate. But let me see, where is that? Shit. Where's the image? These motherfuckers are right here. Some of them. These are some of the Batman ones. Okay, Batman vs. Robin's a good one. Obviously, the fucking Flashpoint is great. This Green Lantern one's great. All-Star Superman, I like it.
Green Lantern was black.
There's the Green Lantern's corpse. There's many Green Lanterns. There are some that are alien.
Okay.
John is just one of them. You're talking about John Stewart. That's just one of them.
I grew up with John Stewart then. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, John's my Green Lantern, but there's Guy who's also human. There's
Gray said Corey watch Under the Red
Hood,
Young Justice, and Superman/Batman Apocalypse.
Superman Apocalypse. That one's a great one. Justice League War is a great one. Which one is it where Batman took off Green Lantern's ring and Green Lantern didn't know he took off his ring? Which one is that, where they all first meet? That's a good one, when they first fight Darkseid. That's a good one. But yeah, no, DC's got, when it's done right, when it's done right. It's got now those live action movies. I don't suggest those to anyone. I wouldn't tell anyone to go watch Superman vs. Batman or any of that
I'll
shit.
watch some animated shit.
Yeah, they've got some. They got some dope ones, but that's all I got on DC. That's all I have on the news for DC as far as what's going on in their world right now.
They said Justice League War.
Yeah, Justice League War. That's a good one. What's the... Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, okay. And what's the one where it's Constantine and Batman and they're trying to figure out why everything... What's going on? It's Constantine, Batman, and Zatanna. I don't remember which one that one is either. But all good. Justice League Dark. There you go. Great one too. That's one of my favorite ones actually. Because I like Constantine.
Maybe we'll go down that road after. I mean, we still have a long ways ahead.
Oh no, we have a long way to go with Star Wars. We haven't even started episode 2.
I know. Life be life, then, guys. We're gonna get it together next year. I promise.
Yeah, we still gotta start episode 2. Cornelia, not you trying to keep us here with questions and shit, talking about celebrity crushes. Yeah, we got a lot to do on that Star Wars front. You have a long way to go. And after episode 2, we still gotta get through.
I'm like really excited for
Clone Wars.
episode 2 though. I've been like trying so hard not to go and watch them on Disney. So hard.
Yeah.
Because I want you guys to get like the initial reaction. You know what I mean? But I'm so curious. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun when you get to see episode 2. Like I said, that's one of my favorites. I know not a lot of people like episode 2, but
Yeah.
it was my introduction to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it is by far.
We're gonna, trust me guys, we're gonna figure our lives out for next year. It's just not today. Not this month.
Am I going to watch the Crisis of Infinite Earths animated trilogy? I don't know. I don't like the animation on it, if I'm being honest with you. Isn't there a trailer? I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. I did not like the animation on that. I didn't care for that one that much. I did see it though, I believe. Let me see. You should also give Star Wars Clone Wars from 20 years ago a look if you haven't seen it. Now see, I can, I don't know if I really can, because see, this is where that copyright shit starts to come in. Maybe I can just do like a trailer. Is there a trailer? This was like from when I was in the 5th grade. I was in the 5th grade when this series came out. And this was a micro series. And when I say a micro series, I mean, bruh, I remember being at school, being so excited, all of us that were Star Wars fans being so excited, talking about, because we had seen the trailers and things all over Cartoon Network, because it was a Cartoon Network thing. Seeing all the trailers over Cartoon Network, and we were like, oh, I can't wait to watch this. What is this going to be about? Blah, blah, blah. The first episode, I shit you not, was 5 minutes. And I remember being like, what the fuck?
Just devastated.
I remember being like, what the fuck
beside himself
is going on?
I said, Mom, I can't go to school tomorrow. I don't feel good.
That shit was so short. Like, bro, this is it. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes of... That's it. So the first episode, bro. The first episode, this is what we watched. You watch the little intro. I'm not playing. I ain't getting copyrighted. But you watch the intro. The intro was took how long the intro took? There's only 3 minutes and 44 seconds, right? Chapter 1.
At least 45 seconds.
The intro itself, we're not even done with the intro yet.
Oh shit! This is the intro.
The intro itself is 1 minute and 25 seconds, so we were left with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left of the first episode when I was a kid. Imagine the devastation when we got back to school the next day. We were like, so did you watch it? Did you miss some of it? Or I was like, what?
TV shut off or something?
Yeah, so then they go into the first chapter, and the first chapter is just getting ready. This is the Clone Wars, but this is taking more. They show more of after episode 2, more than just jumping into the events right before episode 3. I don't want to say right before episode 3, but Anakin's still a fucking. He's still got his Padawan little braid, so. This is still pretty early on. And the clones are still in their phase 1 armor. So this was, yeah. Then they go. And bruh.
Damn.
That was it. That's what we watched.
No longer said not spoil a question to Corey. How would you describe Liberty dying? What does that look like? Is that for me, or was that for you?
You're not going to get what he's saying.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I got that.
I get it, but you're not going to get what he's saying.
So.
We'll revisit that on episode 3.
Okay.
But we're not there yet.
On episode 3.
We're not there yet. But keep that quote in mind as we watch everything else, I guess. So yeah, that was that little micro series. But let's see. Ant-Man 991 said, "Play Fanatics, what's up, everyone? Just wanted to say hi and say happy heavenly birthday to Chadwick Boseman." Yes, happy heavenly birthday to Chad. Let's see. Anakin vs. Ventress was fire. Yes, in the original micro series, Anakin vs. Ventress was fire. That was a very good. I really wish I could play that.
Are we gonna get into the
no?
No,
it's not canon. It's not canon to. It doesn't matter. Like none of the events in that show
take place or go.
Actually, that is such a lie. I say that. The only thing I would, if I show you anything from that, because there are things that don't. I don't want to say everything from that show don't matter. There are things that don't matter, not everything though. Because see, like this shit here matters. Like this is the battle that takes place right before episode 3. The film opens in space, and it opens in space because it's a battle going above the capital, which is Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
And but this right here is the shit we don't see in the movie. This is the stuff that's going on the planet, going down on the planet.
Okay.
So I don't want to say it's not important because it is important.
But not like every micro.
No.
Okay.
And that in this like 26-minute little deal here, you see, so everybody can see what I'm talking about. You see the Chancellor get kidnapped, and all that. Like I have a cut of episode 3 that is infused with that scene. This whole 26-minute episode, it's like it cuts though. It cuts back and forth between that, the micro series. It cuts back between the micro series, Clone Wars, the newer series, and the actual episode 3. But the events are in chronological order. So when it cuts, it makes sense.
Okay, that
but
makes
it goes
sense.
from live action to animation.
Right.
But it's still, when it cuts, it makes sense. That shit is dope as fuck. And that's it's a almost 6-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith, 5-hour cut.
Oh.
But that's, to me, that's the way Revenge of the Sith was meant to be watched. If you're going to watch Revenge of the Sith, you watch it in the order of events, the way things happen. And
right. We haven't gotten there though, have we?
No.
No.
We have not gotten there yet. We've got some time.
Because you've just seen episode 1, right?
We've got some time. You've only seen Anakin as that little boy.
Little boy.
He has to grow up. Yeah, Raptor Cloak said General Grievous was a bloody monster in Clone Wars compared to anything else he showed up in later. Yes.
Wait, didn't we see episode 2 though?
No. We watched the Dooku episodes from Tales of the Jedi.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
To take us into episode 2.
Okay.
Well, we watched them. We should have watched them before episode 1, but we watched them after episode 1. But it's still the same. I mean,
right.
Dooku now is who he is, so you'll see that going into episode 2. But what Raptor Cloak said about Grievous. So General Grievous, who you have not met yet, but General Grievous is this character here, who is on the screen. He's this character. And in the micro series, he was fucking dope, unstoppable. The way Grievous, I mean, they show you in the micro series why he's the way he is in episodes 3 and in the Clone Wars series. But we'll get to all that.
Right.
But yeah. General Grievous is just a foreshadowing of. Do I want to say that? No, I don't want to say that. Never mind.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yes, we are watching in timeline order.
Yes, watching in timeline order. I know there are people who are like, no, don't do it in timeline order.
Let me live my best life.
But we're doing it. We're doing it in timeline order. I really debated it. We weren't going to do it in timeline order at first. I was going to do it I was going to go Rogue One first, then 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3.
You should do it that way.
I was going to, but I like the timeline order because it's the way it's the events, bro. It's the way shit happens in events. Like, I don't know. You don't want to watch episode. I mean, it's great either way you watch them. I can watch them either way. It's fine for me. Like, I adore them both ways watching them. But I don't know when I'm telling people about that. If you're watching Star Wars.
Also, the way my brain works too, I would need to go in timeline order because I'd be like, wait, how the fuck did we get here? And like, what's going? Like, I would be way too confused. There's too much going on.
No, timeline order is great. It is great. Ooh, that's a tough one, Cornelius. Maul over Vader. Ooh, can't.
Wait, there's someone worse than Vader?
Depends on what side of the room you're standing on.
Oh my! I thought Vader was like the big ultimate bad.
He is. Don't let anybody tell you different. He is. Vader would have beat Maul if they would have ever fought. But no. I love Maul though. Maul is man.
Maul don't play, but he's no Vader.
No, he's no Vader. He's no Vader. Maul is just cooler. He is just cooler. Maul's dope. Especially what they did with him when we get to Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm.
Maul's,
I already know Maul, right? Maul was the guy.
He's in episode 1, the one that Obi-Wan killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Darth Plagueis over Sidious. I still can't. I can't. Sidious, the Emperor, who you've seen in the black cloak.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's the real. I mean, Anakin is not the. Vader's not the villain. Vader's just lost, manipulated, a puppet. Sidious is the real villain.
Now I'm just even more confused because I thought Vader was just the big bad.
Vader's misunderstood. He's hurt. He's sad. He's brokenhearted.
What?
And he takes that broken heart out by killing people.
The whole image of Vader just like completely just dissipated now. Like the boys like now gonna be like, no.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not. That doesn't excuse the killings. I mean, but
what matters? Have you guys seen that voiceover?
It doesn't excuse the genocides, but.
He was the greatest guy around. What matters?
Yeah,
yeah, like, is he good or bad now? I'm good. Like, thank you, Xavier. My whole world has been is he good or bad?
No, he's misunderstood.
So is he even like the big bad? Is there like someone that's controlling him?
There is a puppet master.
Oh my Lord Jesus!
There is a puppet master.
Let's just go ahead and wrap this up before I just get into it.
There is someone pulling the strings. There is someone pulling the strings at all times. All times.
Yeah. Okay.
In the shadows, watching.
Good note to have for when watching Star Wars. So trust nobody in nothing.
Trust no one.
He's complicated to say. What do you mean? He's all black. He has a deep voice and his thingy is red. What? Like, it doesn't get more complicated than that.
He is
complicated. It's showing all the signs of evil.
He's complicated. He's missing. How do I tell this without spoiling any? Sidious is not lame.
Yeah.
Sidious is
Can
one
we
of the
just
best.
yeah? Because I don't want you to spoil it. I'm just mind blown right now. Like, that's not what I was expecting.
He's just. It's like it's a.
Alright.
Do you know? Let me ask this first before I even say anything, because I feel like even if you haven't watched Star Wars, I feel like this may be common knowledge, but it may not be. Do you know who Vader is?
No.
Then let me shut the fuck up. I didn't know that.
Am I supposed to know who
I
Vader
didn't. I
is?
didn't know that. So that actually excites me that you don't know who he
Oh
is.
my god!
I didn't know that.
It's Vader!
I didn't know
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
exciting. That is exciting.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's fun.
I'm officially stressed out now.
That's
We gotta
funny.
get this going, because now I have too many questions.
Raymond said, "Damn, even I know who Vader is."
This is not a world I grew up. Like, literally, as soon as it was mentioned, I left the conversation. Whether I was physically there or not, my brain went to a different conversation. Cause,
That is funny.
It just was never my thing. And, like, I didn't have... My dad was never into sci-fi. He was very much either into, like, medieval or comic books. So it was like Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Igor, like stuff along those lines, you know what I mean? Where my mom was a Trekkie. So I grew up on Star Trek. I can tell you more about Star Trek than I could Star Wars.
See?
Whether I like it.
Oh no,
or
just
not.
as well. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything. It is, but it is going to get real. I didn't know that little tidbit. I thought
my
you knew.
dad is 63. 63. And my mom is 64.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm just...
Yeah, no, the reaction's gonna... That's why the reaction's gonna be fun. And it's gonna, you know... Because people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's never... Like, you know, we're gonna do the thumbnail and title it, you know, first time watching Star Wars.
I really want to pull up his Wikipedia page now, but that's just going to ruin everything.
No, you can't pull up his Wikipedia.
Is he even a villain at this point? Is he more of like a vigilante now?
No.
Oh
God,
my
no.
gosh.
He's not a vigilante. He has destroyed worlds. He's not a vigilante, but he is a... He's
Throw
still,
her off.
still
Vader's
complex.
James Earl Jones, Corey.
He's complex, for sure.
Vader's just a RoboCop with laser sword.
So what you do know so far, you know who Obi-Wan is. You know who Dooku is.
Yeah.
You know the cloaked figure is the Emperor.
Yes.
But you don't know who he is.
No. I just got introduced. Can't say I'm really a fan.
He's one of my faves.
I gotta see him in action.
I love him.
So far, he's just talking a lot of shit right now.
And
so.
that's what he is good at. I love him.
I'm like, is this your thing? I'm still trying to figure it out.
Love him.
Still trying to figure it out.
You know who Yoda, you met some of the members of the council.
Yes. I'm still really shook that Samuel L. Jackson was like a part of the OG. Like, this is how much I do not know about Star Wars. Like, I didn't know that was like his debut.
He told George Lucas, the director, he said when George asked him to be a part of it, he said he'll do it, but his lightsaber, he wants to pick his color. That's why his is purple.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm like over here waiting on Princess Leia, come to find out. That's...
Oh yeah, we're a ways away from the princess.
That's literally what all I can tell you is Princess Leia, Darth Vader, Chewbacca, lightsabers, and R2D2, and that's about it. That's before we entered this world. That's all I really knew, and I couldn't tell you what movie they came from or why they're important or...
And see what D Sizzle just said. Animated shows, video games, novels, comics put extra stank on the saga. So remember when I told you we were doing everything?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just showing her the movies. I'm not just showing her the...
oh, yeah, no, we've watched episodes of...
and I'm not just showing her Tales of Jedi or Clone Wars either. Like, they're... Like, the next thing we really need to dive into before we get into Episode 2, and this is not like we could do Episode 2 the same day we do this, and I'll show everybody this. We need to do this first. Because like D Stizzle said, everything Star Wars that they've chosen to leave canon is basically canon. Except for the Legends stuff. Like, they've started bringing in stuff from Legends. Like, Grand Admiral Thrawn at one point was Legends, but they brought him into Rebels, making him canon again.
And I couldn't tell you who canon is, so there's that.
Who is?
Canon. Have I met canon?
No, canon. Canon's not a person. Canon is the order of events. So that makes it. It means that it's relevant to the current story being told.
Y'all, lost in the sauce.
But if we do, this is what we need to do next. And to be honest with you, because this is already on YouTube, this doesn't have to be something we pre-record. If we want to do these ones live with everyone, we can. Okay. Not today, because this is 59 minutes. But this is honestly where we need to go next. We just finished episode 1, so now Obi-Wan is now Anakin's master. He's no longer, and he's only doing it from what we talked about at the end of episode 1, out of a promise to his master. He does not want to train Anakin. He does not feel, remember in episode 1 how I brought up how he said, why do I feel like we just picked up another useless life form? Yeah. He was comparing Anakin to Jar Jar. So it's like he didn't care, but he's only doing this as a promise. So, and he talks about that a lot in this comic. When he's talking within his own head, he's talking about how he just doesn't feel like he's right to train Anakin and things like that. Him and Anakin have been on several missions together before this, but this is where they pick up where they've grown a lot in their relationship. But at the same time, Anakin is still that stubborn kid who was too old to be trained from the very beginning, and X, Y, and Z. So this is honestly where we need to go next.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
So,
but I do have to start skedaddling out of here. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're about to close it down. Final thought, anyone? Yeah, like D Sizzle said, Star Wars audio comics, they're great. So when we watch those, it's like voiceovers, music.
Oh, nice.
Lightsaber noises. It's like it's a comic brought to life, so it's pretty cool. But yes, so we do appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. However, we do have to get going, but we will be back tomorrow. So we'll be back with you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's night stream. Yes, Raymond, there are comics. There is I keep telling people, Raymond, get into Star Wars. Get into Star Wars. This one right here, we're leaving, I promise you. This one right here, this comic, this one takes place right before season 7, I believe, of
Raymond said that's too much work.
It's a lot, bro. No, Star Wars, that's why I always tell people, if you take that journey, you better have time. Yeah. Because it is a journey. It's a lot. So, anyway, appreciate everybody hanging out. Dorian said, Darius, I've been watching a lot of Star Wars, What If content, and I think Plo Koon would have been a better master for Anakin than Obi-Wan. Yeah, Dorian, we're going to have to talk some more Star Wars stuff. But Plo Koon, that is a what if scenario where people have said, I've seen that video too.
I haven't met him either, have I?
You've seen him, but he didn't say anything. He doesn't say anything at all in the movies. He talks in the animated series, but not in the movies. But you saw him in episode 1. He's just sitting. He's in the council. He's a Jedi.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. We will be back tomorrow to hang out with you guys then. Yes. So like I said, if you haven't, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Hit that like button on this if you haven't hit that like button. Again, share with friends to have them come tomorrow. If you missed tonight and you're watching this in a replay, remind yourself that we are here tomorrow night, same time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'll be back with more news. And if it's not more news, I don't know what's going to be in the news tomorrow. We'll hang out and answer questions like we kind of did tonight toward the end, and talk about stuff like that. So, anyway, like, subscribe, guys. Share with your friends. I appreciate all you guys very, 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 very much. We will see all of you guys.
Bye.
In the next video.
Thanks
Peace
for
out.
being here. Miss you guys already.
Soundstripe.